Let's talk about retain cycles. They are probably the biggest, if not the only hidden danger of using ARC. To illustrate a retain cycle, I use this classic example with the bank. So, you've got a bank which issues credit cards. When a new customer opens an account, the bank adds their data to its database and issues a new card. At this point, the bank has references to both the customer and the credit card. The digits here represent each object's reference count. The customer record keeps track of all the person's cards, but the card in turn has a reference to its owner. For example, when someone transfers money using card details, the transfer should update the total amount. Now imagine the customer decides to close the account and cancel all the cards. The bank does it and deletes the records from its database. However, the customer still has a reference to the card, and the card has a reference to the customer who owns it. Can you see what happens next? Nothing, and that is the problem. Because the customer and card objects have references to each other, ARC assumes they are both still needed and should remain in the memory. That's obviously not true. We can clearly see that these objects are useless at this point. We call this situation a retain cycle, or reference cycle. In a real scenario, this could be a view controller which needs to perform some action at a later point. The view controller has a property with a closure, and the closure uses some property of the view controller. Because closures in Swift are separate objects, we've got a retain cycle. So even when the view controller is long gone off the screen, it still occupies some space in the memory, and so does the closure.